I kind of think in some ways I helped launch the kind of the panic about AI. So this was 2014. A very nice PR woman from Intel got in touch and said, Stephen Hawking is having his technology updated in a process masterminded by Intel, led by Intel. And he's willing to give an interview to the BBC about this. And the update was not particularly interesting, except for one thing, which was there was an element of AI coming into it from a little company called SwiftKey. We were talking about British companies. SwiftKey, which was made a sort of a smart keyboard for mobile phones that predicted what you wanted to say next. I'd asked him why he'd kept his old computer voice and not got a swanky new one, because he was keeping his old, very robotic voice. And he said, oh, it's kind of my trademark and kids like it. And then I got to the final question about AI, and he effectively said, I might actually have to find it's from the chapter called The End of the Human Race. I'm just going to read you this line. Then I landed on the last question, the one about AI, and gulped at his response. The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful. But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. Once humans develop artificial intelligence, it would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded. And I write underneath, now this was a story and a very good one. The world's most famous scientist says AI will make humans obsolete. The only problem was that everything depended on him actually saying it, and Hawking's health appeared to be fragile. Because we'd already had a delay because he got sick. Anyway, we couldn't put the story out until a few weeks later when we went and recorded the interview with him at the Savoy Hotel. And then when we got there and set all our lights up and everything, slightly overawed by being in the presence of the great man, his computer was not working. And in the this was not going to happen. And then in the sort of classic moment, his people turned him off and on again, basically. They rebooted his system, and he was able to deliver the answer that made this huge news story that went round the world. Hawking warns AI is going to kill us all, basically. So that was an extraordinary experience for me.